Hello and welcome to this session. This is the second session on Zentangle or Tangled Ornate Frames, right? So these sessions are especially about tangling around a photograph, creating a frame kind of thing, right, around the photograph, or taking also the photograph into consideration, right? Sometimes in some of the sessions I will be tangling around the photograph also. So in today's session I have done some groundwork. I have again pulled out some one old photograph of my grandmom whose photo frame had broken. So I'll be working on this picture, around this picture today, and some groundwork that I've already done. This is again A5 size paper cut to the suitable size of this photograph, and I have drawn one border, right? So there are two sections here, right? So I will be working in the outer section and I will leave this section empty, right? So let us get started. Today we will be working around three tangles, basic tangles. I'll just let you know. So I'm again working with my burgundy PN, right? So I'm going to be working with my burgundy PN, and then we'll be using the pencil, normal pencil, to shade. So the first pattern that I'll be working with is called poke leaf. So I'm going to draw the stem kind of shape and cap it. I hope it is clear. Yeah. And then going to add this leaf kind of shape with a curl on one side. This is the tangle poke leaf. It is a Zentangle original. The second is again starting in the same way. I have picked up tangles that start in the same way but then deviate, right? The second is poke root, again topping it up with a circle, the stem almost reaching the half of the circle. So the third pattern that we are going to be working on is called Rixty. So I'm going to aura this cap like this, right? So it just grows in about any direction. All these tangles are basically they can grow in any direction. They can be called vining or blossoming tangles, right? Very organic look. So I will be using these three tangles today to create my frame, right? So let's get started. I'm going to start from one corner, just random, drawing with my burgundy PN. You can also use a brown O1 if you wish. I like this color little more than brown. That's why I'm using my burgundy PN. And starting with the pattern poke root, right? Again, I am going to be drawing a mix of these three tangles, random mix, not thinking much how, when, where, just depending on the spaces available, going to just pick up a mix of these tangles, right? So Rixty there hidden, again stems, poke leaves. So you can maneuver these leaves in just about any way, and that's the beauty of this pattern. It's very comfortable to fill up spaces using this pattern, right? We'll see what we want to do with the small little spaces. At times we may ink it, some places we may add the pattern tipple. So first let us draw, yeah, again moving further, adding one more poke root, again adding a leaf, some space here. You can add a Rixty or you can add any of these pattern. So it's just random, so I think each of us will draw it differently, right? So don't worry about that. Just a combination of patterns which I like and which looks good as a frame. That's all is important, right? So again, go slow, take your time, just maneuver in any direction you feel like. Poke leaf, as I told you, can be maneuvered in any way. It's a very adjusting tangle, yeah. One of the first few that are generally taught if you take a beginners in Zentangle, yeah. So you can see here I am drawing a mix of these tangles and going to continue like this. You can draw along or you can draw later, that's okay. Draw at your own pace, don't haste up. So a lot of drawing behind also. It's really fun to draw Dixties behind each other. Yeah. Again a tangle which can move about in any direction. Yeah. So you can see nice mix of tangles, and when we finish drawing them, makes up a nice frame. So don't bother about the small spaces right now, just continue to draw. Try leaving less spaces in between, but still spaces would be left because we are using different shapes here. So we will finally either ink it or we can add tipple here and there, so that's okay. So in case you are new to Zentangle, these patterns I already told you the names. They are Rixty, Poke Root and Poke Leaves, and you can comfortably find their step outs on Zentangle's official website or even otherwise on the web. So I'm almost finishing one side here, right? So you can always add more Rixties or Poke Roots. Right. So I'm going to go on like this at my own pace. Yeah. And then moving on to the next side. So you can see here I have done 3 sides now on the last section. So again continuing in the same fashion, you can now get a broad picture of how these 3 patterns went up together look like, right? So I'm going to complete the last side again, just like the way I did the others, adding a mix of these 3 patterns: Poke Root, Poke Leaf and Rixty. They all start in the same fashion, and that's one advantage. So while you start with them in the same fashion, you can actually vary the look of the tangle by a small change to the top of the tangle. Yeah, so all of them starting in the same way. So you can see how simple it is to draw or create a tangle using simple strokes, very elementary. 2 stems, straight line, cap the stem, add a triangle or ink or round the corners, and then just add an aura. Again a circle, right? Same stem, same exercise, and then a circle to give a poke root, the poke root effect, right? So some hidden ones here and there. As I told you already, poke root comes very handy irrespective of what space you have to fill up. They can be maneuvered in any fashion, and that's the beauty of this tangle, right? Again, some rixties. Rixties can also grow in just any direction. You can add any number of stems. Yeah, I'm just going to link these three together like this. Yeah, drawing behind. So as I told you, don't bother about the small spaces. We will rework and fill them up either completely or with the pattern tipple. Yeah. First the major tangling. Yeah. So I'm going to just finish this side and then so rixties are always a fun to draw. Simple pattern named after the founder. Yeah, Rick Roberts. So just going to blend with the other side. Yeah, probably one odd here. So this is how the tangling part, and then let us now add small orbs or fill in small little spaces, whichever way depending on what is the space. Yeah, so I'm going to very small little spaces I'm going to ink, right? And if the space is a little bigger to adjust an orb, then I am going to add an orb. So use your discretion, whatever you want to. So you can either add orbs or you can ink if the spaces are too small. Yeah, so just to give a broad picture. Yeah, so for example, here I can add some orbs comfortably, ink small spaces like this. Again, small spaces, bigger space, you can add an orb, ink small spaces, little bigger space, you can add an orb. Yeah, so take your time. That small little inking is important. It will add a lot to your tangles. So take that time and ink the empty sections. Yeah. Yeah. So little space, you can add orbs. Very small space, you can comfortably ink it. So you can see how inking is also adding to the look. Yeah, some small little spaces left here. So continuing with the same exercise, I am now on the last section. I have already filled in the rest of the sections with either orbs or fill in very small little spaces, right? So that's your discretion. How do you want to fill it up? Generally, if the space is big enough, you can always add an orb here and there. And if it is very tiny, then you can just ink it in, right? So did that exercise for the 3 sides, and now the last 4th side. So spaces are small, take your time, go slow, and make that effort to fill in all the leftover spaces. Yeah. So add in orbs here and there. The beauty of orbs is that they need not be perfect circles, so they can just squeeze into any kind of space that is there, right? So just go with the flow and find those tiny little spaces and just ink them in or squeeze in, just squish a few orbs here and there. Right, so small little spaces but need attention to give the frame its look, to give the tangles their look. Yeah. So I'm just finishing, and you can see already how the frame is coming out to be. Yeah. Again, you can fit in an orb here, a couple of orbs here. Some here. Yeah. And small little spaces left here can be comfortably inked. Yeah. And we are done. Yeah. So now let us move on to shading. So it doesn't require anything else. So I'm not going to get into shading each and every poke root and poke leaf here, right? So we are going to shade on the both, on the edges, both sides, right? The way we generally shade borders. So I'm going to be putting some thick graphite on both the edges, both sides of each of the border, right? So here and this side again. So I'm pressing really hard, so I want the graphite to be pretty dark on the edges so that my center pops up. Yeah. Again the other side. So take your time and carefully add graphite on both the ends. Don't spread too much because you don't want the entire thing gray. Yeah. So just stick to the edges. And the last. Yeah. So now I'm going to be picking up my blending stump and then going to smudge it with a light hand. Pull the graphite from the edges towards the center, right? Small circular strokes, don't blend too much. Again the other side, I want to rotate. Small circular strokes. Just blur the graphite, but don't blend too much. You don't want the entire thing gray. Leave a highlight in the center. Yeah. Again the other side. Same way, just blend. Yeah. Again, blending the edges. So I'm still blending, and one small thing that I did in between quickly is I stuck this photo inside, right, so that I can give it a golden border, right. So just blend the graphite that you have put at the edges, making sure that you don't blend too much, and leave a highlight in the center. Yeah, so we're almost done with the blending, and you can already see how the center has popped up. Yeah, just softening the graphite, already blended once at places where it is piled up. Yeah, and the next step is to pick up your chalk pencil and add or highlight the center, which in a way is already white, but the chalk will highlight it a little more. Yeah, so just put some chalk in the center portion to highlight the center a little more. Yeah, and then the last exercise that I'm going to be doing after you stick the photo in between is to give it a gold border. So I'm going to use my gold jelly roll here, right? You can use acrylics, you can use any other thing that is readily available to you with you. Yeah, so I'm just going to use my gold jelly roll and add a little gold around the photograph. Yeah, so use any other medium, whatever is easily available to you, like a marker pen or anything. So I want it to be a little subtle because the border is brown, so I don't want a very jazzy gold here. Yeah, but I do want to highlight the picture, and as I already told you, I don't consider something ornate unless it has touches of gold. Yeah, looks decked up. So just adding a touch of gold. So jelly roll is very convenient to work with, and Sakura metallic colors are really nice to work with. So I just picked up my jelly roll. Yeah, just going to complete in the same fashion. Yeah, so almost done with adding the gold. Just touching some places. Just going a bit more close to the picture. Nice little shine and shimmer it adds in a very subtle way. That's about it. We are done. Yeah, so that's our frame for today. You could see how simple and simple patterns like poke root, poke leaf, and Rixty combined together can make up a beautiful frame, right? So thank you for watching me, and I'll come back with another new Zentangle ornate frame idea. Yeah, till then, have a good time. Bye bye. Take care.